We all want to improve something about our lives. I mean, who doesn't, right? Maybe it's more money, a healthier body, better relationships. But there's always this wall that seems to stand in our way. And it's not because we don't have enough information, it's because we lack real, solid discipline. So let's just ask the big question right up front. Why do most of our attempts at self-improvement just fizzle out and fail? You've probably been there. I know I have. You get this huge burst of motivation, you start a new routine, and then, a few weeks later, it all just falls apart. And you're left feeling even worse than when you started. Why does that happen over and over again? Well, let's get into it. We're often told that discipline is all about these external things, taking cold showers, waking up at 5 a.m., finding the perfect motivation hack. But that's a total myth. Real, lasting discipline doesn't come from any of that stuff. It comes from having a clear internal framework. And that is exactly what we are going to build together today.
And look, this framework wasn't just dreamt up in some lab. It came from real, honest-to-goodness personal failure. The person who came up with this system talks about a time in his life when everything was just chaotic. No confidence, no direction. He tried all of it, the motivational videos, the early mornings, the whole deal. And every single time he'd get a little rush, and then he'd crash, feeling like a complete failure. It was that painful cycle of trying and failing that finally forced him to figure out a system that actually works.
And this is that system. It's a powerful three-pillar framework for building discipline that actually sticks. And the order here is absolutely crucial. See, it's not about what you do, it's about why you're doing it. We start by defining just one priority. Then we dig deep to find the real why behind it. And only then, do we accept the sacrifice it's going to take. It's a process that's built from the inside out. So let's jump into our first pillar, defining your priority. This is where most of us get it completely wrong. We try to build a great body, make more money, fix our relationships, and become a spiritual master all at the same time. And what happens? We fail at everything. The very first step to real discipline is ruthless, unapologetic focus. You have to choose. So what do I mean by priority here? It is the one thing, the one single thing, that if you improved it would have the biggest positive ripple effect on your entire life. It's the linchpin. The most successful people in the world are masters of saying no to almost everything, just so they can protect their energy for their one true priority. And hey, if you're struggling to find it, don't ask what you want. Ask yourself, what's the biggest thing that's wrong in my life right now? Start there. This quote just perfectly illustrates the point. The author was brutally honest with himself. His priority wasn't some dream body or a perfect relationship. It was money. Not because he was greedy, but because he was deeply, profoundly ashamed of being financially dependent. He hated that feeling, and so that feeling became his singular focus. So now it's your turn. And I'm serious. Take a moment. Really think about this. What is your one thing? Is it your health, your career, your finances, a key relationship? Be honest with yourself. What's the one domino that, if you just push it over, will make all the others fall into place? Okay. So once you have your priority locked in, you've got to fuel it. And that brings us to our second pillar, finding your deep why. See, having a goal is one thing, but having a powerful, emotional reason to chase it through all the inevitable hardship, well, that's the real engine of discipline. Let's be really clear about what a why is. It is not some nice-sounding platitude you post on social media. It's the raw, honest, and often pretty uncomfortable truth. It's that deep-seated feeling, maybe it's shame or frustration or desire that you just can't run away from. That feeling, that's your fuel. Let's go back to the author's story for a second. His why wasn't, I want to be rich. It was, I feel ashamed asking my family for money. Do you see the difference? One is just a fleeting wish. The other is a powerful, inescapable emotion. He took that negative feeling and turned it into an absolutely unstoppable force for change. So, I'm asking you to be brutally honest with yourself. Why do you really want this? Is it because you feel lonely or inadequate? Is it to prove somebody wrong? Hey, don't judge the reason. Just find the truest, deepest one you can, because that's the thing that's going to carry you through when motivation is long gone. And this, right here, is why finding your deep why is absolutely critical. It's the emotional force that makes this third and most challenging pillar even possible, accepting the sacrifice. Once you have your priority and your why, you have to look the cost right in the eye Every single significant achievement has a price tag, and you have to be willing to pay it.
This quote just sets the tone perfectly, doesn't it? The journey of discipline isn't some glamorous movie montage. It's often ugly. It can be really lonely. There are going to be times when nobody is clapping for you, when you have to be your own source of encouragement. Now, this isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to prepare you for the reality of true commitment.
Here is a super powerful way to frame this. Think of your goal. Now, I want you to imagine an unsleeping competitor who wants the exact same thing. This person never gets distracted. They never make excuses. They are working around the clock to get it. Your sacrifice isn't a loss. It's what's necessary to compete. So what does this sacrifice actually look like in real life? Well, it's giving up comfort. It's saying no to social events. It's breaking those bad habits you cling to. It's letting go of the need for other people's approval. But ultimately, the biggest sacrifice of all is letting go of your old self to become the person who can actually achieve your goal. Okay, so we have our mindset in place: priority, why, and sacrifice. Now, the big question is, how do we turn this internal framework into real-world action? Let's say your goal is to make $100,000. Just staring at that number feels completely overwhelming, doesn't it? It's so big that it can paralyze you before you even begin. This is the exact spot where most people give up.
But watch what happens when we simply break it down. To make $100,000 in a year, you need to make about $8,300 a month. Okay, yeah, that's still a big number, but it already feels a little more concrete, right? A little less impossible.
Now, let's break it down one more time. To make that monthly amount, you need to generate about $1,900 per week. And that is the power of a process. We've just taken a terrifying goal and turned it into a weekly target. The overwhelm gets replaced by a clear, actionable plan. And once you have your plan, success is not about finding some new productivity hack on the internet. It's about mastering the basics. Are you getting enough sleep to actually function at your best? Because sleep isn't a luxury. It's central to your performance. Are you truly focused during your work hours, or are you just letting distractions win? And are the people around you lifting you up, or are they pulling you down? These are not minor details. They are the absolute foundation. You nail these fundamentals, and the results will follow. But even with the perfect plan and the strongest foundation, there is one final challenge. You can have the perfect why and be willing to sacrifice everything. But the real battle, the one you're going to fight every single day, isn't external. The war is with the voices in your own head. Just let this sink in for a second. The greatest victory you will ever achieve is the victory over yourself. It's about conquering that little voice that whispers, just skip it today, or you can start tomorrow, or you've worked hard enough. The truly disciplined person isn't someone who feels motivated all the time. No way. They're just someone who has learned how to silence that voice of comfort and simply follow the plan. So, the framework is laid out: your priority, your why, the required sacrifice. The real work isn't out there somewhere. It's right in here. The battle against your own comfort, your own excuses, your old self, it starts right now. The only question left is, are you ready to fight?